uh, uh, from entities inside and outside of Saudi, and this will help to allocate it on the map, and from indexing and reviewing and quality assurance. And today, the library in general, uh, we have exceeded more than 500,000 of the materials. The photo today is very important in writing the history, and to that we have to read it in a different way. It is impactful, but we'll have to go beyond the picture, and uh, people or consume them with that. And today we are trying to use new technologies also to connect the characters. And we've had more than 10,000 uh, uh, 10,000 photos, but today we are also are able to calculate how many characters in the in King Abdullah's presence, and all what we've included, we can have that uh, to to see them and connect them with the items that the things that happened, and that's to have uh, with the intention of the center to see that, and most of you are going to your experienced people, and understand the target that we are talking about. We can see today through the picture, and photo is going to be is an interdisciplinary historical and interdisciplinary and for the humanities and technology, and today is uh, is trying to create an experience and use the utilizing the expertise and variety of the fields to be included. One of the projects to include systems, as Dr. Abdullah Shah mentioned, will present and after the or through the exhibition, and we have trials to see if we can read these characters, so we can reach to a high level of engagement with it. And these centers experience and this should include the items for we have photos that have scientific researches, and one of them that have created more than 11 specific research to find specific history, and you can see we use the photo, and if you allowed me, as one of the basic components of the oral the, the oral um, um, and we also this the character or this photo you can see has a very important event. It haven't been published before, and as you can see, the it used to be that taken from the concept, but it has a lot of details. If we went to the back of it, we go back to the origin of the picture, the characters are who are they and why haven't but they have presented like this, and we can see things in the way they dress and in their components and also their ages and the components of it. There is a lot of details that we've worked on for more than 11 research to see to measure the impact. And this is one of the photos that we say that one of the pictures that they say that have been published before for King Abdullah's reading the Quran, and that's a part of. But we know that it's to celebrate the achievements. Is that correct or not? Now the photo is bigger than that. It's not only visual that we enjoy it, but they are also big field for creating interdisciplinary fields for the historical and humanities and language and uh, and the role of the, uh, the technology and AI and Shpix, the specialist, our leader in this thing, our Shell history, um, the and consultant in Abdulaziz Center, if you like, and start the uh, workshop. Uh, Having experiences in the publishing is also interested in photography and in uh, use it as a function in that. And she focused on that in the postal uh, the post section. She participated in many uh, workshops and works, and to include the history Makkah Mukarramah al Medina in the postal and also in the history, and it's included in there. And also she participated in for the supporting the students of Princess Noura University. You do have the mic now. Good morning, everyone. Uh, Royal Highness Dr. Adla, and I am glad to be here with you, and I appreciate uh, this invitation. I would like to thank everyone who are meeting us in the live streaming, and also we will present some work, and that is going to be included in the relationship between history and photo. And also, when we talk about the photo, we can find that photo is a different product. It includes the painting and engravings and many items and the modern digital and also the cinematic photography. We have a specific part of it which is the photos. They have their own context and they have different usage. So our talk today is going to be focusing on the photos. And of course, in short, I would like to ask you that before we move to the photography, before that, I just would like to document and to say the photo as a document, its beginnings, its history. Can we have or create the documentation of it at the beginning, just to make sure that we to be followed with just to the presentation. Of course, we have reached to the photo is a document. Why is that? And that's it is a material that make history is very important, and it's part. It's good the in the part of the documentation. We are talking about the history of the oldest. For example, digitalization. We don't see that we have the new technologies that uh, to show is older, but these practices from the mid 19th century, and we may notice that the photos is captured in Al Medina Munawwara that's more than from developing the technology. So this is a very important and shows the importance of Saudi Arabia of historical landmarks and to have the lenses focused on Saudi as the area. And from the 80s, we can see that uh, there's Makkah, and we have photos of Muhammad Sadiq, and we have for Snow and Cotton, and all of those people have came here in the 19th century, and at the same period, we've seen a lot of travelers, and they did not have photography, although it was included. For example, we have Ottoman and Telegraph, and Lawrence, when he mentioned in his book that he was hesitant, but what if Telegraph uh, included in that? Or is it that? So now they didn't have the challenges because it was a heavy and many components and their installation, and to have it with you through that journey wasn't easy. And this I think is very expensive. So if you didn't get any support, you wouldn't be able to be carrying this machine, and that's why we can see that have that they didn't, but they also draw in hand, and you can see that lens is going to be uh, much better, but will have the imagination to affect the drawings. However, in the 20th century, started to see other travelers and for developing it, and to also it's the Saudi Arabia have attracted many of those people. For example, we can see in the 20th century, and they have the first experiences in it, including that some of them have uh, meditative parts and other parts they didn't. For example, when they meditate the in Riyadh, Breda, and Hasabat, they didn't include it in Riyadh, but that's different. Definitely, there is stories, and other than that, and all of those people are for uh, they are people who are actually worthy entrepreneurs of photography and with their lenses. Again, now cannot say what is the history of oldest picture, but with the archive to care or most important part is in the 80s is and of course in this presentation we are published and in magazines. We will include that in the uh, in using seeking his and his area and other areas of these the first photos photographs in Saudi at the beginning of that. And that, that, uh, and that, that the interest is because because of prediction timelines and have the is it the only have Germany and see for the almost light of the first one have been published and republishing and the content in magazines and um, books. So now it's validated kind of in the arts and literature, but also they find that the archives, after they come back from their since they usually take that items and archive it. So now you can see that it's could be sustainable and next see all of that and have been seen by the uh, prophet and for the if we saw any photo, we know that this is for years to include them that documenting it help us, but also are part of the exhibitions and picture represent the its resemblance. So all of that added to the value and to take the care of it. And when we back to have the development of the lens, the Saudi lens, and to come to the realization and that it needs to be spotlighted. And why these photos? First of all, it was just a documentation material because it's kept part uh, of the past with all the details. Also, it is going to be publishable and to publish, and it is going to be easier to um, cycle it or recycle it and reuse it. And also, it's now material. It is going to be in the importance and included the researchers to read it. Also, now we we are at this center today. Will shed the light on the some of the parts importance of the items shown on the slides. These are going to be that is going to be uh, it is it is an invitation to go back and to see those and this is the platform of the center. This is to answer the question why we include it as that. Today I'm going to talk about the photo and the topic of the photo as a historical value. How can I understand the value of the photo and the way of dealing with it? This is what we mean about the. Let's focus on the development of the Saudi lens, and at the same time, this is especially from the we can see that it is included in the photo. It's very important because it have the vision of that person, how they can see us as Saudis. That's why you can see comments for the other, and this going to be to show how they define us or see us, and outside of Saudi Arabia. With time, we can see that we have a national lens, meaning that is a result of focusing on the variety of media and the development of it, and that created for us the every thing and included all parts of Saudi Arabia, and on the level of Saudi, we will have there is that means now we do have more photos and to use it, and in the newspapers you see the variety of the photos, and now it is part of uh, our our culture, and now we can see that. And let's ask now, where are these photos or pictures? And but now we ask questions, for example, that that is going to be included, and it's a very few of it have reached that, and we can see in the with the individuals and with the centers and the variety of archives of the ministries, because we do have at that time big projects, and to have that to, and before that we have for oil discovery, and so all of this and what we are talking about our national lens. But now we ask the questions, and this is in Al Qafila, and we can notice the value in it. But regarding your question, and to for me to use the photo and include it, let's see the originality of it and its availability, and after that we'll see to moving to study the furrow and the gap. That's what we feel. Is this approach is enough or not? In my opinion, by itself is not enough to study that furrow. And still today, we do have a gap between the context and the use. We do have a lot of furrows that is archived inside the kingdom. We do have thousands of pictures and photos. Why now the researchers is very limited? Maybe it's just to have albums, but we are talking about studying them as photos. And I think because the lack of to have the approach for studying the photos here for the historians, they need to be open on the new research, especially what's related to analyze the research method, and to analyze the uh, the groups. But also we tell the researchers that you have to get closer to the newer um, uh, approaches, because we do have researchers, and I'm not the researcher. The researcher is as a result of um, their alma mater, and that means that the programs in the universities have to focus on building courses that is related in that kind of a field. That in this way we may make sure that it is going to be for the research to discover the parts of our history. The pictures have will include everything in relation to the photo, and it's only used as and to only for thinking reminiscently about the experiences, and we will discover from different corners that we didn't know before the reality today, to see if it is, of course, it's it's back to history, but we are talking about we when we included when we have this number of photos that include to a specific type. I do think that this is very valuable, and it is and we should uh, make the researchers focus on that. That's now we have it as record, and the researchers, they're still, I'm not going to say they don't want to work, but they, to my knowledge, I didn't see anything in the history uh, departments. We didn't have research in it, and also for us, we do have that. But what if we have a whole curriculum to create an experienced researcher in this specific topic, and this notice the advanced countries for it showcases our history, our archive through from variety of that, including the curriculum, which showcase their work. The digital history is a new approach due to the existence of technology with the internet and all of these things. Now we do have a track for humanities, and we have the digital history. And let's talk about some of the definitions. Some of see it approach, some of them see it as a project, and some see it as a practice, and the other one is just media. And now it's much more clearer. The history of we can say that it's a research approach, and it is a practice, which is mean that it's just practices that is, and to reproduce history. It's just another way of reproducing history, but also some of it it's to and we can see these dimensions and to communicate with the public. Some would see it as a medium, but the followers of that, the first approach, digital um, history, they are a big audience, and they are uh, when we have bigger bigger audience. Now I have variety of targets for the commitment, and that's what makes the receiving the picture is different between the academic and the community, and to have it and to use it, because we do have a variety of crowds that I need to tailor the content for them. Um, the the digitizing of history is having a lot of benefits that is mentioned here in the slide, and to have the creative creatives who are creating content, and also for the people or the individuals who just want to share photos for the sake of sharing it. And before that, and all of these things are just tools for the history. If you allow me to cut you off here, I think the digital media to build it as is it from the history, or is it an interdisciplinary supportive? I thank you for this question. First of all, that's very important. From which side we can see it? All my studies and allowed me to. They are all included. They started from the universities and to connect the researchers, and all of the projects have been preceded by a lot of theoretical studies. So it's important to start from universities and and to send the researcher the and to have an association and to connection between the different stakeholders. But also, what's important is to engage with, if you allowed me, first of all, the last point, we are waiting and from different entities who are able to to participate in it. Do we wait from them, or we are talking today about new tracks that the institutions, specific institutions, to document the digitals for individuals or for uh, it's it's a new discipline, and it is not about for the student for the IT, and it's not, it's just a whole cycle ecosystem. As you, we do have the root of the variety of roles. Now we can see it is intermediate for all the specialized people. We will see their role and uh, uh, their participation, and also use the digitization samples of the uses of it. You can see that we always see that in the background is going to be a historical background, and it is going to participate in that, and it is the origin or the basis of it. We also have virtual the virtual and they do have their and the platforms, for example, for Google or Flickr or and most of the they have most of the museums have digitization assets, and it highlights how can we go back to uh, the um, they do not include things, but it go back always to the origin, and that's what we mention when we say the integration. The historian is part of a whole supply chain, and also you notice that the social media, for example, it's focused on the content creators and the what they can see and the publication. How what is the cuts and the population, and that shows how much they are interested, and also the open sources like Coursera and edX, and we can see we always try to give part of the history, and this showcases the importance of it, and the use of it, and connect and to create new topics, because it's like courses. Basically, it is not enforced on the student, but one who wants and utilize that in a way to showcase their history, but also for, I would, I would like to I'd like to focus on that we do have focus on the history and our images today, and how it highlight it and to use it as a way, or to be a snapshot. So about 10 minutes to move to the picture and the community. We can see that it was inserted early, and you can see that can see the creation of that, and it's going to be part of their frameworks and attendance. I would say that it is part of the engagement, and we'll see how those uh, travelers and this and studied by the researchers, and to the engagement with these furrows and to accept it, it is now is a formal way, and it is used, and now the people started to create those photos, and then the sharing of these photos, and let's say 30, 40 years ago, but it is part of the memory of the community. And when it's documented that, and this, it is going to be part of our heritage, and the, because it is saved with people, and so it's just to be a part of it, and we lose that the depth of these photos. But it was, since because it was very close, we, because we lived it, we didn't see it as history, but now we can see photos that had more than 40 years or something, and now we have completely a different context. And do you think we to include these photos in, and that when we engage the community, because as we said, they are now producers of these photos. Now we need to think about how to find a platform or projects, digital projects, that is going to be to verify and their because we can basically publish an old photo, might be, or to be a family, then they find it everywhere, and all could include it. And some of them, they do not add the resource. Not everyone is trying to document and that's what, on the contrary, the pictures that have been validated, now they are not. And here we need to use from the community to, we don't say the society, because we don't say because photos now it's in the cameras in all the hands of the students, especially after the 20th. And we don't talk about the digitals now, but now from the start of this generation, you can see that the photos are everywhere, and the they are still exist, but with the individuals, they and it documents a lot of projects. And how do we participate in that? We do have two models, and I saw how we were able to find it. This is a small project. We do have a Flickr comments that allow to share some of your photos and all index and to create the domains. And this digital museum, and they used to have about 5,000 photos for Normandy, and that's without data. They found it in a way, and they do not have any data for it. So what they did is since 2008, and they put on Flickr, and they allowed people to participate in to define that, but everyone should provide an elements. If somebody says that this is my father, give me an evidence, and so on. And projects so far have to utilize the information of the public. But we have also for another example for Katrina. But now what we are doing is going to be history, and it will be forgotten, and maybe it will be lost. So what they did is to create this website that share their memories and their history and all of that for the Katrina days. And now they do have a whole bunch of it. They allow me a few initiative that have been supported center, and the center today they invested in to build databases on a high level to archive all the pictures that is related to the biography of King Abdullah Al Saud. And is there any sustainability? And most of the attendees they lead projects and showcase the principles that King Abdullah believed in his life. So um, we have a project, what they call the combined index to utilize the investment through having a database, a standard databases to allow the disease to index and to create the respiratory for all of these reports have been published, because sometimes we publish the report and after 6 months, not after 6 months. And if we ask in our institutions, we find it's very hard to reach. So I think the have a combined publishing uh, and to allow the investment, the center to save the archive and to invest it. That's one of the initiatives. For the history, there is it's a rabbit hole where we go back to follow this history and to see it's part of our heritage. And all these projects are uh, uh, by the National Digital Bank. Do you have time or not? The aspires that we see for today for the photo. Well, I'm not gonna say I'm not gonna say a recommendation. It is aspirations. We see we do have people who they would like to see our photos, the pictures, and all of that. And we can see the pictures, and in that uh, we need to work on it, and through the photos, and to enrich is important. And after every year, we add part of this year to our historical research, and we need to develop and and need to be always renewable and shouldn't stop at the after each 40 to 50 years. It's a new history, and it's going to be part of the whatever we take today. It's going to be included for the future, and it is they are how to use it. For example, we can see that. Um, so here we can see our photos for today. If we don't save it, it's going to um, be in the history. Uh, Also, the size of Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and the engagement is going to be internationalized using new models from inside and outside of Saudi Arabia. Thank you very much, uh, Dr. Maha. And it's going to help us to understand the future. And we know that many of them are going to be allowing us to work, especially in our work. What we see today is that the efforts are going to be included, but it's going to create a unified understanding for the way we deal with it. I would like to thank Dr. Maha for this time, and my apologies. And if there's any questions, and I know that we have here in this field. So if you have any participation or addition, from the King Fahd library, the, then you see that for some photos that is not documented and rich, you can see that didn't have any history for it or any information for it. I hope to have an association or the experts and to validate that the work. And what's your opinion about this? This is a good idea, I think, and you can see the Normandy work. We do have a lot of pictures that is missing a lot of information, so we can utilize the role of the um, Unity either by training and workshops. And the second thing, and that's let's go back to the first thing, since we didn't have researchers study it in depth, that means, and it's going to, they will they will avoid it because, but it could be a treasure. So we need to also have a way to deal with these photos and the clusters that they include the information, and this information might be have people, but also we don't know that these photos actually does exist. Uh, Everything we find is going to be included to validate the information. I think this is a very important workshop, and I think I learned a lot from it, and I was following Abdulaziz Asafani. So we think that what's important is I just want to know the relation between uh, the relationship between the photo and literature in general, and the variety of types of literature. As you mentioned before, and when you talked about Normandy, I just want to know the relationship with it and the role of it with the literature, not only a photo, and that include those people, so and so. I just I wanted what is the relationship between them and the photo itself. As we mentioned, it is part of the heritage of the community and culture of the community, and I think I've so something on Coursera platform, and it is the weaving photos and connect in the photo of people and the material, and that discovers the aspects of um, includes the literature movement and also the topics that as topics of or components of culture, not the history. And I think it's going to include that maybe we cannot even imagine. Thank you. We would like to thank the Center for organizing such a topic, because we do need such and as we do have a positive impact on that for specialized and specialized, we all and but also the mistakes could affect the in what's happening today could be for example in Egypt, and that to have to publish wrongful information, and to see all of that facts and in Saudi Arabia, or we can see for the Turath institution and for that platforms, and when we see that initiative from Sultan ibn Salman to Prince Salman at that time, and till today, included this as part of the library. And as I mentioned before, we found out that including that although some of these photos have been tampered with uh, in a way, and now the photos, they are unfortunately do exist, and but in historical books, and it's in this situation. So this could be there is a lot of this justified and not justified, but what we are asking for is to have a center uh, to control the photo, so we to validate this, with allowing we can have this the participation of it, and we do have the and also we've done that before, and to see if the history do still have that the source of the photo is also important, is the validation of the owner is different, and it is possible to trackability and traceability are very important. I'd like to thank the to see the website to find the to authenticate, and we are working on the Turath institution that and I think that we cannot find the photo by itself, but also we have the journalism and media, and in variety of places. That's very important because the photo is not created by itself, but also for the GIF and the video that exists in Europe and Egypt, and now it justifies all that. This is just a small example on the focus on how can we add the picture, and as we mentioned, we have 14 or 15 research and maybe even a conference. Thank you for your time. Thank you for these items that you added. They are very valuable, but for the item that we can see, there is another point of view for tampering with photos that would be associated with publishing the photos. For us, it's very important to focus to to raise the awareness for both parties, for the researchers, but also for the community members or individuals. Um, I cannot. I'm not gonna blame the individuals if they didn't know about these issues. And again, I can say that the lack of the research in this field makes any photo can be tampered or read it or to take it from a whole context. But again, the photo, as I mentioned at or started with, is that taking part of the context is that of danger that been have the history suffered, and that we always focus on the value of the photo by its individual. So the photo of this or the picture of it, the values could be uh, greater in the future. And today, just an opportunity to showcase in the exhibition, and they can. This is some of the pictures. They're just raw materials, and how have it changed to it, and the uh, importance. And we can see some of the examples for the digital screens. And today we also were able to showcase an album that have been gifted to all King Abdulaziz when he visited Egypt in about 46. That's a very important 1946. That's very important. That was very important at that time, but that with the program and the importance of King Abdulaziz individual in interpretation of these photos, and also the value for the items that have been gifted to them. That's all. If we didn't read it in the right context and to raise the awareness, we couldn't create such a value for that. one more thing is on the projects. After we analyze the content, we find the thing that we can showcase. We found 90% is digital, and that uh, could be a challenge on how can we invest in it, and we are finding ourselves it's finding ourselves in a challenge that is very important to invest in such items, and to know if there is any question for Amal. دكتور عمل هزاع for موهبة, the head of موهبة. Thank you for your for what you have shared, but also Sierra Center. And my question is, you've mentioned there is you mentioned that it's very easy, and what is and what we have as recommendations or initiatives for the educational system, and to find it to create these by the end of these initiatives and programs. It's going to be very important for the history. Thank you, Dr. for mentioning that, and I do think that you have a huge history that we have in Saudi Arabia. In the other side, we still have a weakness in the so one of the most important notes is that is to create programs and degrees such as diploma in the study of the photo, and also from part of the students of the historians is to work on the photo, and also the co-op is very important, and so they accept the awareness, and also to have the research, and it's going to need to be included in the research and theses. This way we can have a balance from keeping these treasures, and that it's available, but we do have a gap in the training that could be the issue. What I suggest is that the work of Princess Noura is to create a proposal for related items, so they find actions for this field. Thank you. I'm proud that we have this subject is available now, and in the research we always say that they have to focus on these items, but we still to focus on more in the future. Thank you. Thank you very much for the. I do have a question. Maram bin Dail from King Abdullah Philanthropy, and in such challenges, how can we use the AI and this aspect in analyzing photos and all of that? I think it's going to be a creative tool in the current age. So I don't know what's your opinion. This is for the people who are working in the AI, who should have a combined projects between people who work in the field to create uh, tools that truly helps the using the technology. But for me, as a historian, I cannot. I can have the same question. If you allow me, Doctor Sami Lutfi, if we can comment on that. In this specific context, in photo forensics can be used in photo forensics for not tampering with the photos. Now we do have photos that we can add or to add or take out part of the uh, partially of people, but they are there and they are developed and to see what is the noise in the photo or analyze the lights in the photo if they are complete or not. From another part, let's talk about using the face recognition. It will help us partially in documentation, but who are the people who are um, uh, exist in this photo? Who are they? If we do have a knowledge base for the people, so now then after that, the AI will be able to document the information with a very high certainty um, given in number. Let's say now, for now, we have two problems. That first of all is face identification, and after that, and used to have for the Saudi photos for the using the shemagh and the way the Saudi dress was beginning. Now we are able to find about 99% of the face identification, and after that, now we can know who is that person for more than 95% these photos from local photos. So in part for experiences, we were able to recognize photos, things that you cannot see the face, but it's the AI could tell you this is, for example, Prince Sultan, or when we go to validate and we find it is correct through using the AI. Thank you very much. Hello, everyone. Bender Rasami, historian. A small suggestion or maybe initiative, maybe we here in Saudi Arabia. In the programs, we do have tracks for the work. I hope we have a track for the digital three and to this is just a we hope that we do see such initiatives in the new fields. Thank you very much, Dr. Bender, for such programs that, as you mentioned, we still see our subjects in a way that since the beginning of start, and we still have new tracks, and that's why it's very important to see these, and still uh, see it's going to enhance in the future. We would like to see a whole track because it is very important, and this is what we see and possible and all the universities are going to working together is the key. I'm Mohammed Al-Atiq. I will be talk about the photos of the housing uh, programs in Saudi and the way it was captured for the buildings and especially for our to describe the way we or to document the way we used to live, whether in small cities or bigger city, the variety, and that is what is shown, and that's what I say is most of these photos focused on that, and the photos, the new photos, are going to reflect inside and outside of the photos, and that assures the importance of photos. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Maha, for what you added. And I do hope that we achieve your ambition to have it. And of course, the center would like to work with the university, Princess Noura or King Saud University. If there is any trainees need training, they are always welcomed and to participate in and thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you, Your Royal Highness. I would like to thank everyone in for the attendees, for the institutions, for the uh, 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 as stakeholders. Thank you for the strategic partnership. King Abdulaziz, uh, headed by His Excellency Mr. Faisal bin Ammar, and allowing us to use the building. Thank you all, and we hope that we're going to see you in further events to discuss and develop a lot of initiatives that we see and to have this. Thank you very much, and I do appreciate your time and your attendance, and we will see you. Thank you very much. I'd like to conclude this session by thanks His, uh, Her Royal Her Royal Highness Princess Saada, and for this invitation, I would definitely have been will be back for the colleagues in the university and should create an initiative and a baseline for supporting this subtrack. And we do hope that we see you again. Thank you very much.